There they go into the back. The blue line on. We have a race, and Satnova's beaten Pure Steel out by a length and a half.
Welcome to Talking Trots, hosted by Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
The sensational Sydney sider, Seals to Sam, comes off the back straight. He's a bucket load of alliteration, this fellow.
Scott Bomber Hill will join the boys to look at the Friday night meeting at Gloucester Park.
Here comes Quinny. I'm the mighty Queen is 4 deep and letting go.
Sit back and enjoy Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
I'm the mighty Queen is just in front. Dasher VC can do no more. And the West Australian champion has done it again.
Yes, hello and welcome to Talking Trots for another week. And as I welcome in Glen Mortimer, Morts, we're in new surroundings this week. Moved into the Gloucester Park studios.
Far more salubrious here
than the last couple we've been to. But it's good to be here. It's quite a quick walk for me to get across here, Morts. And yeah.
Only took me about 5 or 6 minutes to get here, so it was good. Much better than traipsing across to the last place we used to go to. It was a bit average.
Indeed, but we're back. We're fresh and we're ready to go, Morts. And a big show. We're going to speak to Michael Young, who's got a big hand in Friday night and a couple of runners at Bunbury on Saturday night. But
He does.
So it's going to be interesting, including, can't wait to chat to him about the filly that's debuting in the last race, particularly after her trial.
It was amazing. I thought the rest of the field had stopped because this filly was that far in front, and the camera was panned over to that part of the track, and there was just nothing coming. Must have got well in excess of 100 metres in front.
Yeah. So, and I think the margins were a little bit wrong as well, because I think they were more than 50 by 50. I think they were a bit bigger. But anyway, in the end, it doesn't really matter. There was a big gap. And we'll chat to Michael about the filly, but he's got a really good lot of horses going around tomorrow night that's going to be in the market for most of them, which is it's going to be good to chat to him and get the lowdown on those, Morts. But welcome to the program. Went to Pinjarra on Monday. A bit cold for you?
It was a bit... It was a bit fresh down there, Michael, actually, but it was a good 11 event card on Monday, and then we followed up, I think, with a big 9 event card at Northam as well. So there was some really good country racing at the start of the week, but it was a good night last Friday night, reasonable night for our man Scott Bomber Hill, plus 3 units. Didn't get the multi, but he was plus 3. Ollie had 3 bets at Narrogin for just the one winner, and unfortunately part of his double in Redcliffe and Albion Park was scratched. So,
and a couple of boilovers in Queensland as well, which no doubt we'll discuss a little bit later on with Ollie.
Certainly was. Yeah. So it was a chop out for Ollie, but great night of racing last Friday night at Gloucester Park, and Team Bond and Denny Roberts, they kicked it off in the first. Tualoo bullied its way to the front eventually and held them out to kickstart the night for Denny and Team Bond. Montana DJ from the Mobile. Wow, that made a big difference. This time for the very powerful Michael Young stable got the win.
Powerful lot of owners as well. Eddie.
Yes.
Matt Leppard, the big cat, and Ollie.
Yeah. Big crowd of owners. It was a good win. Good drive from Junior to get him off the fence too and get him into the race. A dominant win, Lusaka, with a quick sprint just before the turn.
Wasn't a good run?
Away.
Yeah. Big performance.
Massive turn of foot just before the turn there. Jetstar was well driven out of the 1-1 for Denny, managed to hold out Rolling Fire. Unfortunately, lots of mid-race pressure by Hall Jr. on 3 rumours, and a very aggressive move by Stuart Mack to get off the pegs on a Shani Girl. That resulted in a great win for that mare, and what a stirring finish that was. Yeah. That was a really hard-fought winish. Wild West eventually found enough space as they straightened to get over the top, and once he found daylight, he absolutely motored. One win that I was really impressed was a couple, but Rock and Roll Elliott's strong win, 3 wide the last lap, never looked like getting caught in the straight. Absolutely powered to the line. My Ultimate Baxter gave Chris Lewis a race-to-race double. Ratlin Lily was some run, caught out 3 wide, but just too strong. A great effort and really good drive in the last, unfortunately, by Emily to beat a nice field of 2-year-old fillies. So Friday night, Team Bond had 4 winners and Denny Roberts had 4 winners. Double also to Gary Hall Senior, double to Chris Lewis and Gary Hall Jr. Saturday night at Narrogin, a double to Shannon Savelko, and never a weekend goes by without the mention of Shannon Savelko, and also a double to Emily Savelko. Monday at Pinjarra, double to Chris Voke and a double to Dylan Edgerton Green. And Tuesday at Northam, a training and driving double to Chris Voke, training double to Peter Anderson, driving double to Emily Savelko, and driving double to my man Trent Wheeler. Great week of racing, Michael.
Sure
really
was.
Good.
Yep.
Really good.
Sure was. Really good group week of racing, and it's going to continue into tomorrow night, Morts, with 11 races on the card at Gloucester Park.
Big race.
Once again, an early start, 4:25 the first, and the last at 9:40. And some really good races, good competitive races, which they have been for the last couple of weeks, haven't they?
Well, I'm going to have to stay awake till at least 9:40, Michael, because you put one of the highlights on.
Well,
race number 11.
I didn't. The harness office put it in there, but it's
going to be great.
It's a good three-year-old race.
It's good to see how that filly goes, and of course, any time Waterloo's in a race, you get to see a very nice horse. So, great card. Should be a good night tomorrow night at Gloucester Park.
And one man who's got a major hand in a number of races tomorrow night is Michael Young. He's about to join us on the line, but one of the star pacers going around for him is Montana DJ, who made his first win in WA last week. And let's go back and hear Montana DJ with Gary Hall Jr. in the bike getting the cash.
Back in the centre. Me Flash got an inside run, and Belezanira is coming around the outside with a run and feeling aces as well. But on the turn, Montana DJ has raced up on the outside. Soradere tries to go with it. Into the clear is Belezanira, but it's Montana DJ working clear inside the 100, drawing away from Soradere. Back on the inside, Blaze on. Late Belezanira will snatch the place. Might even get second, but an easy win, Montana DJ, and beat Belezanira. Third home.
Yeah, he's had to come from the back row on Friday night. He moves to barrier 1 and Tab Touch. Markets up for all races already. Have him at $1.80, and his trainer joins us now, Michael Young. Michael, welcome to the program.
Afternoon, thanks guys.
Mates, good to see Montana DJ break through. We had a couple of stand starts where he wasn't on his best behaviour. You put him in a mobile and he got the cash.
Yeah, the stands were a bit frustrating, but good to see him get the job done last week.
Yeah, it sure was. Comes into barrier 1. Obviously, coming off the back line last week. First time from a good barrier and a mobile. Do you expect him to hold up?
Yeah, I think so. I think he'll have pretty decent gate speed. He had a bit in New Zealand, and they're not known for running the gate overly hard over there. But he wanted to bounce out at trials when we took him to trials. So, I presume he'd have gate speed. Most horses like him do.
It's an interesting race, Michael. There's a couple of very nice horses in there. Lusaka, last start winner. Celesio Matuka, a Little Happy Fella, which is in amazing form. And we know if there's a bit of speed on, that a horse like Little Happy Fella can certainly run on very well, and going around at a good price again. It's a very competitive race. Given Montana DJ holds up, do you think he's good enough to go all the way and win on tomorrow night?
Yeah, I actually, he's up in class here. I put him up in this level 9 plus. He could have gone in the MO again, the race that he won last week, but we put him up in this race because it was pref draw and he was guaranteed to draw 1. So even though there's some nice horses in there, they're always going to draw wide, and I kind of have a decent opinion of him to think that from a good draw he should be able to beat these nicer horses anyway.
He was certainly was a very good win last start. It was a good drive by Junior to get him off the fence. So I just think it certainly sets up for what could be a very interesting race. So we look forward to seeing how he goes off the back of what was a very, very good win last start. In race number 2, Le Mandier, just beaten last start. Very good run. A lot of the other chances are drawn out wide. How do you see this one panning out, Michael?
Yeah, it looks another race where he might get his chance to win. I I tried to convince Junior to drive him, but he's stuck with You're So Fine. I thought if Junior drove him and he led, then I thought he might have been able to keep You're So Fine locked away and maybe beat him. But Junior's pretty good at getting out of them spots, so I would have rathered him on mine than the danger. So we'll just see how we go. I think if he found the front, just need Junior to run into a little bit of traffic and he could probably win this race. But if Junior gets in the clear at any stage, then he's probably the one that's going to be winning.
The Tab Touch market has You're So Fine inside the back line, 320 favourite. One of your runners, Lamandiere, at 380 on the second line of betting. And your other runner, October Rain, is $14 outside the back line, and probably a bit harder for him this week.
Yeah, he'll just dive to the rails. That's what we should have done last week. He's one of them horses that can just roll around every week, and when he draws to lead, he becomes the one to beat, and when he doesn't, he's not really much chance. So should have really looked after him last week, and then we'll look after him this week, and then hope for a draw where he can find the front in the coming weeks.
In race 3, you've got the pole marker Ideal Tomato. That's how it's pronounced.
It is,
Michael?
correct.
Ideal Tomato. Denny Roberts on board. Drawn very, very well. You've also got in the same race a horse that we watched trial, Cownie Iron Lou for Gary Hall Senior. Thought it did enough in its trial back there at Byford. How do you see that? How do you see race 3 panning out, Michael?
Yeah, he's actually going really good. Tomato is probably kind of in career best form, I think.
Is it Tomato or Tomato?
I call him Tomato because I reckon it sounds better. But his owners or breeders or whatever they were in New Zealand are Tomatoes.
Okay.
That's their last name, I think so. But now we own it, so they don't get their last name.
No, they don't care. No, it doesn't matter. And Richie calls it Tomato, I think.
Yeah, some people do. I've convinced some people, but some people won't.
So I know Matty Young calls it Tomato.
Yeah, I know. He's the one that leads the Tomato fan club. So I need to sway him, and then I'll probably have everyone.
He's currently 320 on Tab Touch. Coney Island Lou for senior and junior at 185.
Yeah, like I said, he's fifth. His last and his fourth have actually been probably as good as he can possibly go from bad draws. And last week he got to the line really well, and in a few more strides he probably would have run third, which is not something that he's ever been known to do, a horse that attacks the line like that. So I think he's going his very best, but I was stabled next to senior trials the other day, and I thought I heard a line thrown out that this is the best horse in his stable or something like that. So
it could have been any horse.
Yeah, I think I might have heard that before.
that doesn't bode well for me if
it's correct.
and if I was listening about the right horse. But
Yes.
I think they've got a nice opinion of this one, and if they do, then we're probably not beating it. But he definitely will be back in the winner's circle soon, I think.
Well, considering he's got all the three-for-allers that are going super at the moment, and then he's also got those 4-year-olds that go pretty well. It's a pretty big label to put on a horse that's coming through the grades as the best in the stable.
Yeah, or maybe he said best 3-year-old.
Okay.
Is it 3? I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah,
if it is best, I'll happily take Mr. Smarty. He's now best.
Exactly.
Yeah, he certainly did enough at his Byford trial to indicate that he's going to be a pretty handy horse. And another horse in that race, Rock and Roll Elliot, he was outstanding last week as well. So should be an interesting race, drawn well. So see how we go. And then, of course, we roll into race number 6. You've got Chasing Hill drawn out wide. Did have good country form last start, ran 8th. Going to be a bit challenging from out there, Michael?
Yeah, he was really disappointing last start. I thought he should have won. I thought he would win, and then I thought he should have won the run he had. Run some bloods on him when he come home, and everything was okay. But just working a little bit flat for him. He's actually a really, really good worker at home, and he's probably not right at his best at the moment. So this was drawn on dollars, and he's got a lot of dollars last 5 next to his name. So rather than take him to trials, I thought we'd just punch him around and knock some of those dollars off so we can get back into a position where we can draw a barrier.
And then in race 8, a horse by the name of Chillin loomed on the turn last week, looked a chance. The winner was just far too good. Gets a much better draw in what's a fairly even sort of field here. Must be a big chance in this, Michael.
Yeah, him and Chasing Hill actually worked up together, and both of them were airborne, and then lost them both somewhere close to when they started. And Chillin's been a bit disappointing as well. So I thought last week the run he had, and knowing what he can do when he's at his best, I thought he should have either won that race or got close to winning, and he didn't do either. So he's a little bit disappointing at the moment as well. But, barrier 2 over a mile helps, and he used to get out the gate like an Ethiopian over east. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night.
Is that quick?
Yeah, I'll have to go home and Google Ethiopian runners.
How far is
I
the
know they
distance?
can run for a long distance.
Yeah, because they've had those champion 10,000 metre runners, but they're not known over the 100, Michael.
They're carrying no conditions, so they got plenty of speed.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's good. And he's currently 220 with Tab Touch, so they've opened up pretty short. And then you've in race 9 you've got Lupicello going around for the American Connections, Mark Hanover and the team. How's he going?
He's going okay. Been a long time between drinks for him, but he's kind of always around the place and looks threatening. I thought I think his future for Metro racing is stand starts, and I thought his last run in the stand was pretty good. At leader, he come outside the leader at the I think about the 1200, and the leader got running into the bell, and that probably didn't help him, but he hit the front down the back and then just got run down by a couple of smart ones late. So, I think he's going okay, and I think he'll bob up in one of these races soon, but Street Hawk looks pretty testing here.
Mate, he's owned by Mark Hanover and Gordon Banks. What's the communication like with them? Do they take a lot of interest watching the races?
Yeah, they do. So I deal with Gordon mostly, and he'll ring me kind of once a week, and he'll talk about his horse and others of mine that are racing. So he's obviously watching all of Gloucester Park because he's pretty up to date with all of it. Even our country racing, he asked me about Penny Black last time I spoke to him, so he'd been watching her, and she's only been racing at Pinjarra. So he obviously takes a pretty keen eye onto WA Trots.
Beautiful.
Very good. And Michael, what can you tell us about the one in race number 11, Fly By Lou? Was certainly a very interesting win out there at Byford. Just took off out of the gate, and
we might have to get Junior a Gatorade or something just to build up the electrolytes.
Yeah, I think they've done him a favour by making it the last race and not the first. It might have ruined his night if it was the first. He would have had
to lay down
for the other 10 races. At least go home and rest after that one.
Yeah,
well, certainly an interesting trial, that's for sure. Obviously, looks a nice horse. Got a little bit to learn, of course. But how do you expect him to go on Friday night?
I think pound for pound, ability-wise, she's probably as good as any 3-year-old filly over here. But she just doesn't have the manners or racing characteristics for it. She's really revvy, and for a fine filly, she's really strong to try and hold on to. So, I'd like her to. I would have liked a trial to be run the other way around than it was the other day. It was flat out for the first lap and a half and then home steady, whereas you want them doing it the other way around, but there's just no stopping her at the moment. So, I presume she'll lead tomorrow night and she'll run like the wind early.
Yeah, currently $4 with Tab Touch, $1.12 for the really good filly Waterloo.
Yeah, no surprise. And Michael, with a horse like Fly By Lou, you look at that trial and you think there's obviously a lot of ability there. What is there a solution? Is there a light at the end of the tunnel that you'll be able to get? That we'll be able to get to see the best out of her.
I hope so. Like her New Zealand trials, she was keen but manageable, and her track work varies. So sometimes she's manageable, and other times she's just absolutely off and gone. So working her at home is fine. So I'm just hoping that trials and races she'll learn to calm down a bit, and then we'll just keep her off the track at home and just jog her on the jog track because she's fine there. So just trying to teach her to settle. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but if it does, she's going to be a really nice horse. She's got a hell of a lot of ability, but for some reason or another, as soon as she steps out onto the track, she's off and gone.
Yeah, we certainly hope we get to see the best of her. It was an interesting trial. Now, you've got a couple of good runners at Bunbury on Saturday night, but if I gave you $1 each way on something on Friday night, what's your best, Michael, at Gloucester Park?
$1 each way.
Maybe $2 straight out.
Yeah.
I really do think Montana DJ will win.
Okay.
I think that he's got a really good future. I think he's one of the better horses that's come through my gates. So, I really like him. But if I was to have $1 each way on something, I'd have it on Luca Pello, because I reckon he'll pop up in one of these eventually.
Okay.
Oh, very good. Montana DJ. What price, Michael?
$1.80 on Tab Touch.
$1.80 on Tab Touch.
4 to 5 in the old. And you go to Bunbury on Saturday night. In race 3, number 3, you got Willis Wadwick, which for all the Monty Python fans out there, Virtual Bloodstock obviously is a big fan of Monty Python. He debuted for you in WA after coming from Sydney for our man Eddie.
Yeah, well named.
Yes.
Eddie's named him himself, so he seems to come up with a few pearlers he has. So, I'm still learning about him. He gives a really good feel on the track during his work, but then he just doesn't let down like you'd expect him to off the feel that he's given you throughout the workout. So his trial was okay. Following Man Down, who's a pretty smart horse, so wouldn't have expected him to beat him, but he kind of loomed up to him at the top of the straight. He's on a nice low mark, and I think he'll get better with racing. He's still kind of learning his craft. He switches on and off a bit, so I think there's a bit of a future for him.
And Jack's idea, I'll ask this question because Mort's has got a bit of conflict of interest in the last. We got Jack's Ideal, who was almost caused the upset, and a few scares for Ryan in the team in her first up performance. She goes around in a 2-year-old filly's maiden against Winter Wonder, and they're debuting Poppies on the Beach, but a couple of other nice horses in there as well as Queen of All, who was a high-priced yearling for Cat Warwick with Chris Lewis in the bike.
Yeah, I was really happy with her first up run. I actually had a good opinion of her last time in, and Donald done all her breaking, and he thought that she was one of the better ones that he did, and he did plenty of them. So, she come with decent wraps, and she was living up to it in all her track work and that at home, and just wasn't taking it to the races, and she broke up a couple of times and did a few things wrong, and just didn't really get to show what she can do. And then we tipped her out, gave her a good break and brought her back. And first up the other night was really good. I think Betsy said he clocked her in 29.3, 28.4, 28.2 herself last 1200, which is pretty good first up. So hoping that she continues on with the good manners and can start showing what she's been showing us at home.
It's actually a pretty good 2-year-old filly's maiden race. I think a couple of these might go on. Queen of All has shown ability and trialled and won, and she was high price. And Mortz's couple look like they go okay, plus Dylan's filly. So I think it might be a pretty solid form event for the 2-year-old fillies.
Yeah, I think there's a fairly decent crop around this year, so pretty happy to come up with the one draw. Hopefully she can burrow through and hold the front. And she's only led one other race. That was at Narrogin, and Better Get On Pip sat outside her, and it looked like we were going to win that race till we broke at the top of the straight. So leading form is there, just not complete. So hopefully we can complete it on Saturday.
Penny Black has been a good addition to the stable.
Yeah, I quite like her. She's not an impressive beast to watch race, but yeah, she gets the job done. And now both Junior and Shannon have driven her and said that she's got a big motor, and even winning in the times that she's winning, they both seem to think that she could go quicker with a little bit of petrol left in the tank. So yeah, pretty good. Pretty happy to have one that looks after himself out there, because they're probably a bit easier to train. So, yeah, looking forward to what she can get to.
Stable's building very nicely, Michael. A couple of nice horses come back in, some horses in some good form. Is there any others not far away from coming back?
Yeah, it is good to have a few nice ones back in work. We went through a little patch there where it seemed we were racing some poor animals and not having a very good time of it. So it is good to have some quality back. But yeah, there's a few more nearly ready to go. Nothing to the Montana DJ Penny Black quality, but a few more lower grade horses that should win a few early races.
Very good to me. Sounds like Montana DJ is the big push.
It's into $1.70 now. With tab
that must have been more.
Yeah, he had his phone out, so
yeah, sniping the prices before we go live.
Exactly, mate. Looks like you got a few good chances over the weekend. Good luck, and we'll see you out here tomorrow night.
No worries. Thanks for having me on, fellas.
Good on you there. The powerful Michael Young.
Very powerful Michael Young, and his stable is building nicely.
Well, you get to the point sometimes, and they get on their mark, and you need to refresh. And it looks like that's what's happened with Michael and Kiara, and got a few nice horses coming through.
He did have a bit of a tougher run for him.
Yep.
He's always been very successful, so he did have a bit of a tougher run, but it's good to see some of the horses he's got. Like we said, the one in the last, it'd be great to see if he can get the best out of that filly. She looks very exciting. Lamandier's drawn well. We've got Montana DJ, so he's got plenty of good opportunities tomorrow night, and which is good to see. So hopefully that $1.80's gone. Well, I'm okay, so that's all right.
Into $1.70. Be interesting to see what happens by the time we get to the preview. Now,
and his start is on Saturday night as well. Like I said, Jack's Ideal almost stole it last start from Better Get On Pip and Wallace Wadwick. It'd be an interesting one. So look with be interesting watch that one.
Yeah, one of the great lines in movies. I
want to hear Richie get his tongue around that one.
All right, this segment's brought to you by Loans 123 Car Loans, Debt Consolidations, all your personal finance. Who do you see?
The great man, Steve Sell, the nude nut, we call him.
He's a great man. Loans123.com.au or 1-800.
100. Michael, still doing things the banks can't.
No, and if you need anything, he'll sort you out. He's a good man, and he's a great supporter, as I say, of us and Tab Radio in general, Morts.
He is a good man. He's a funny man.
He
funny
is.
Man, but no, he's a good man.
He's good to have a drink with.
He is a good supporter of the station and good supporter of ours. So, it's great.
He's always got something going on as well.
Yes.
Pretty switched on businessman is our man.
Certainly is. He doesn't stand still, that is for sure.
Yep. Yes, Morts. Yeah.
Just trying to think what happened during the week. Another nice win by... Now, I don't always...
You've got a lot of notes there in you.
I don't know. I did cut them down this week, so I was surrounded by paper. But I don't always take the shorts, but Narrogin the other night, Black Rock, I know I've spoken about this horse the last 2 or 3 times, and it was well and truly in the red, but that didn't stop. It was a very, very nice win down there at Narrogin.
$1.40?
As we spoke about. There was a good card at Pinjarra and Northern. Got Bunbury Saturday night, and of course, you heading out for the Training Cup on Sunday out to Calabaran?
No, unfortunately, I can't make it, Morts. Will you be there?
No, should be a good race. Looking forward to Bondi's Team Bond have got a fairly big team going out there as well, so should be some good racing out there. And we've got the Training Cup at Central Wheatbelt on Sunday, so good weekend of racing.
Good, yeah, indeed. You can catch it all on Sky 2 on Sunday at Central Wheatbelt, Calabaran.
No, I was just going to say when I was after Pinjarra, and I was reading the Stewards report.
Yes,
that was interesting.
It was
just kind of like as you do when you just every time you go to a meeting, you just have a bit of a browse to see what, in case there's some interference you missed that you've got to take into account for next time you're having a bet. Blah blah blah, and just having a look through and what is that? Just didn't seem to be any context around
the Ryan Warwick suspension. Yes. I
to find it stuck in the Pinjarra Stewards report.
Yeah, look, I think, and Adam, I think they briefly touched on it too on the breakfast show this morning. Okay. But the problem is that the inquiry continued at Pinjarra and they come up with a result. But the problem with that is, and I think I've put it in writing to Railway before, there needs to be some sort of a register of open inquiries and where they're going to be and actually have the report, either supplementary or whatever, because at the moment just putting 4 weeks Ryan Warwick with no context around it in a Pinjarra is terribly, it's not transparent.
No.
And there should be more context around what the 4 weeks was, because it's obviously an inquiry that's gone on for quite some time, and there needs to be more. Like if there's a positive swab, there's a press release, and then they follow it up. But if it's a racing incident where they have an inquiry, it just gets lost into whichever meeting they continue the inquiries at, and it's probably in this day and age, it's not good enough. We need a more transparent system for these inquiries, because there are a lot of people interested in following them and seeing the outcome and all that sort of stuff, and they're having a big thing. And whether they get time or a fine or a warning or nothing happens, then it should be stated, and there should be more transparency around that, Morts. And look, it is
just to find it there on the.
Well, and I think Junior's inquiry was conducted yesterday. I saw him out my window, but I haven't seen any a result of that. But it'll most likely, I suppose, in the Gloucester Park one on Friday night as a supplementary.
Right.
But,
okay.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. So, but they should have their own.
Yeah,
and also when they're going to hear this, so you can follow them. Because at the moment you sort of have to go through each one. And then, it's not in there. Okay, it's in the next one. All right. And then you've got to go through each one to find where it is, and that's just not good enough. It's got to be more out there of what their inquiries are. And even if they have a register of these inquiries open, there's probably
still open. There's only closed,
2 or 3. Or when they're going to hear the next, when they're going to have the next hearing, and whether it's Pinjarra Monday. And then, I think they need to do that.
Yeah, it was odd. Just seemed odd to read it in that.
Particularly with no context. It just said the race identification and the suspension, and no other context, even in the report down the bottom. Was like it's
very odd.
It needs to be clarified and changed, and so people can see, because it can't be that hard to actually have on the website which inquiries are open, which not. And which and when they when they're going to be heard,
and more importantly, what the outcome is. Because if you had been wanting to know the result of that one, it wouldn't have been easy to find. It was just glancing through it and you go, looks a bit odd.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Completely agree.
Okay. Well, hopefully they can get a register and just make it a little bit easier to follow.
I think that'll be better for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, time for a break?
I think so.
All right, let's go. The break. Montana DJ is probably the best for Michael, into a $1.70. He's going around against a nice field. Lusaka, we mentioned it.
It was a great win.
What a performance.
Start. Really good win last start. It's a very good field, that one of Montana DJ. And as you say, Lusaka was just a great run last start. Celestio Matuka, Rockmeister, Little Happy Fella.
Max Better was favourite in front, And all of a sudden, as soon as Denny let it go, it rounded him up very quickly, Lusaka, and it's a really nice 4-year-old, and he's no doubt heading towards the big races at the end of the season, including the Retrovision Golden Nugget, and it's been a good crop, the 2-year-old crop into the 3 and into the 4. It's a pretty smart 4-year-old crop, which never ending, and the like. And Lusaka, he's run placings in the big races as an aged horse, 2-year-old and 3-year-old. So no doubt he's going to be part of a good team of horses for Bonds going into the end of the year. And that's why I thought it's a very big call by Michael. That was his best in a very good field, and we know how good Lusaka is, so he must have a very good opinion of Montana DJ. So should be a great race, looking forward to it. Small field, it's going to be very interesting. Yeah, let's go to the break. Max Better's in front, but Lusaka, when Denny Roberts cut the reins, he put him to bed pretty quickly.
They letting go with a brilliant run. Lusaka has sped up on the outside of Max Better and got a metre in front. They raced away from All Is Well, Paul Edward, Longreach Bay. Lusaka Roberts really goes for it on the outside. Max Better tries to come back for Junior, but Lusaka is outclassing them here, dashing right away. What a quick move it made, and Roberts sends it home for a double. Lusaka from Max Better, All Is Well, Paul Edward, Longreach Bay 2.
Hi, I'm Steve Sell from Loans 123. We are car finance specialists. We can help you find the loan you're looking for, your new car, and help find a home for your old one. If you want a new or used car but feel uncomfortable visiting car yards on your own, we can help and often save you money. For a stress-free way of buying and financing your next car, who do you see? Steve Sell at loans123.com.au or call 1800 100 100.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
Parakeet as well as a corner into the straight. 3 Rumours with a Charney Girl motoring up on the outside. 3 Rumours, a Charney Girl, and then came Beyond the Sea running on. A Charney Girl, 3 Rumours, followed by Beyond the Sea and also Parakeet. In front, 3 Rumours coming out of a Charney Girl, the outside. 3 Rumours, a Charney Girl. They hit it, a Charney Girl. A Charney Girl has just won from 3 Rumours. Beyond the Sea.
It was a ding-dong go, and Stewie McDonald on Gary Hall Senior's Charney Girl. Just getting Gary Hall Jr. on Nathan Turvey's 3 Rumours, Morts, but a great finish. Beyond the Sea 3rd, which is good to bounce back for Beyond the Sea, and Soho Seraphine in 4th position after leading up. It was a very good race, very aggressive push out there by Stewie Mack. Was going to make sure he didn't get caught on the rails, and got out and did it well and didn't cause any interference, and off they went. It was a real ding-dong battle up the straight there with Junior and Stewie Mack, and the Shani Girl got the money and been knocking on the door in recent starts and got the cash in the big race. Yeah, that was the Kerry Clark 50,000 Group 3. Now, the Lewis this week for the fillies and mares. Soho Seraphine backs up. She's drawn to $1.65 and favourite in that field. It's obviously a dropping class for Soho Seraphine, and we might even find out if Bomber's going to back up this week, and we'll find out very shortly. But this segment's brought to you, Morts, by Retrovision, your local WA electrical appliance specialist, where RAC members receive an additional 5% every day. They certainly do, Michael. End of financial year sales end on Sunday. So make sure you get in or get online, retrovision.com.au. Don't miss out. Some great opportunities in the last couple of days of end of financial. So get into your local Retrovision store, or as Michael said, retrovision.com.au. 2 days to go, 3 days to go. So be quick. Big weekend for shoppers. Massive weekend. So looking forward to it. All right, so let's welcome into the program our form expert, Scott Bomber Hill. Bomber, welcome to the program. It wasn't too bad a week last week. Could have been better if 1 or 2 more got home for us, but overall it was not a bad weekend.
Yeah, poked our nose in front, Rads, but missed out on the big one, which hurt. But Yeah, no, if we can, any week he can finish in front, we'll take that.
Yeah, we sure will. We got to preview 4 races, the first 2 in this segment, and at Gloucester Park on Friday night. We have 11 races on the card. The first is at 4:25 and 9:40 we finish, and we're going to kick off our preview with race number 1, which is, and it's a Nova race night. We've got Nathan, Nat and Sean for breakfast, which is the number 1 rating station for breakfast, and has been for a long, long time. They're our media partners, Nova, at Gloucester Park. And let's have a look at the Tab Touch market. Great to have the market up for all races this week. And let's have a look at the market. We got What Are the Odds at 120, drawn the pole, short price favourite to kick off the meeting. Henwood Bay 31, American Bullet 26, Watch Me Wave at 26, Rock and Rufus 126, Hot Footed 151, Linebacker 13, Rascal 10, Velocipede at 14, and off the back line, the only runner off the back line is Rock Me Over at $10 and $1.80. Bomber, what have you got for us in race number 1 to kick off the card?
Yeah, place bet to kick off. I think Rock Me Over should do enough to hold the leaders back here, and from there he should be able to hold on to his coattails to run into a drum. He did run 57.3 home his last start when come wide and comes back to the pegs here, so he should be able to go marginally quicker than that, and anywhere around the 57 here will get him a place. I've got no doubt about that. So he's not the most brilliant off the arm, but I think Shannon will be, it's critical. He does hold the leaders back to run a place, and I think he can kick us off on a fairly tricky night.
Yes, What Are the Odds? It was a very promising 2-year-old and getting back into some great form. I think it might have run second in a Golden Slipper. Ryan Bell, Aidan DeCampo, what a great combination that is. So it will lead and win. Rock Me Over right behind it. So Matthew Scott, Shannon Savelko, great combination there as well. Bomber, I can feel something big coming up here. Race number 1, horse number 10, Rock Me Over for the place. What is the staking plan?
Yeah, we'll kick off with a 3-unit bet. I am pretty confident that that the 1 wins, and this bloke definitely holds on to his tails enough to fill a hole.
Yeah, it's the only question mark, I think, Bomber. If it hangs on to the coattails, then we can just bank the 3 units.
That's it.
All right. The next race we've got to look at is race number 2, and it's Nova Boys Race over the 21-30 metres. Let's have a look at the Tab Touch market. We got Don't Be Silly Chili at $10, Lamandiere at $4.20, Better Move Along 21, Navy Street 750, Longreach Bay at $26, Blockjaw at $126, Altaret at 18, Benji at $8, Cloud9 at 16, and off the back line we've got inside the back line. You also find the favourite $3, Firm from 320. Who's the Dad? This has been a move. $34 to $10 for Who's the Dad, and October Rain at $15. Bomber, what do you got for us in the second?
Yeah, well, the big price has gone, but I'm actually with Who's the Dad. He's just too good a horse to let it go around at that big price. I think he's still a decent enough price even at the $10, but the early price was massive. And whilst he's not really fired at his 2 runs back, he'll be forced to be driven cold here, and hopefully they run along a little bit harder than they can handle in front, and he might be the beneficiary from just behind midfield. He's on his best form, he'd be considered one of the favourites here. So happy to have a small play at the price and take him on trust, and hopefully he gets back to his best.
Certainly a very even race. We were just talking to Michael Young earlier and talking about his chance, Lamandiere, and what he needs to happen for Lamandiere to go really well, and that is for You're So Fine to be in the pocket, and that may also help Who's the Dad. So race number 2, horse number 11, Who's the Dad for Ryan Bell and Hayden Charles. What's the staking plan there?
Yeah, just the 1 unit. He will need a few things to go his way, but as you've touched on, Walters, there's plenty of chances, and he's certainly one of them.
Now, I just got to say one thing, Michael.
Yeah.
The prices on here are all so close, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Doing a great job, Matt, isn't he?
Doing an outstanding job.
Which is what you want. You want a guide of what you got to get.
They're really, really close, which is good. Just gives you a realistic guide of what you can expect. So, not very good.
All right, before we go to the break, Morts, we spoke about Rock and Roll Elliot. What a really good performance it was. It goes around tomorrow night. Race number 3, the Steel Blue Work Boots. Pace, Ross Fitzgerald and the team, they're out here Friday night. They've got a work function in Quinnies. We've got Rock and Roll Elliot. He's drawn to $12 into $7. Ideal Tomato, $3.30. And Coney Island Lou in Barrier 5 at $1.85. But I tell you what, his run was really good for AC Lewis last week.
Yep, and holds form really well. So would expect another good showing. Jocelyn Young stable going very well, but
and part owned by a really great bloke in one of Gloucester Park's elder members, Rock and Roll Elliot. He's it was great to see him for Dave Clement, who's one of our elder members. He's here every week. Great bloke, Dave.
Excellent.
And Rock and Roll Elliot. I think it was his first Gloucester Park winner, maybe.
Oh wow!
And he's put a few together now.
Good on him.
But let's go to the break and let's listen to the first of a double for the great AC Lewis and Rock and Roll Elliot.
Elliot hit the front on the turn though, got about 3 metres in front as they bend from You're So Fine. Further back is Flying Rumour and also Cloud 9 getting into the clear, but Rock and Roll Elliot shot clear at a big price, raced away now from Cloud 9, running up on the outside from You're So Fine and then Navy Street, but Rock and Roll Elliot surges away to win brilliantly by 6 metres to Cloud 9.
New Mazda.
Yep, I love it. We got it from Bayswater Mazda.
I keep hearing great things about them.
They're fantastic to deal with. Great people, great coffee too.
At Bayswater Mazda, you'll always be well looked after. Visit the team today and find the best drive-away deals on new Mazdas and pre-owned vehicles. Driving is better with Bayswater Mazda.
So's the coffee.
Go and see Bayswater Mazda at the corner of Guildford and Garrett Road, Bayswater. DL 25174.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
27.8. Here's Jetstar quickly covering these 2 leaders, and Rolling Fire looks the only threat around the turn. Jetstar has raced up and shot to the lead with Rolling Fire giving chase, but Jetstar has bounded clear. Rolling Fire down the outside and then Magnus Victor. Jetstar kept going by Roberts. She's got a treble, I'd say. Rolling Fire can't get there, and Jetstar has won by a head to Rolling Fire about 6 metres away.
Jetstar won a 4 for Denny and Team Bond. Probably shouldn't have played it, Morts.
No.
Just to rub it in.
I'm surprised you didn't play Petronas Star.
Just give it another run. I didn't even mention it this week. That's you.
Thank you. No, it was a good win.
Yeah.
And just you could see during the race, because obviously had its main danger on its back, and Denny just
drove it perfect.
Timed the run beautifully, and got the cash, unfortunately.
Goes around in race number 4 this week. New FM's newest station, Smooth FM, free for all. We listen to Smooth FM when we drive into the station, Morts, usually, amongst other things. While They Pray is at $8.50. We'll go through the market. Armour Einstein, $8.50. Scratch the 2. 3 4 the Co-Break at $8.50. 2 Fast 2 Series 15. Jetstar at $4.20. And the Stablemates Steal the Show at $1.60. That's the free for all this week, race number 4. And the next race we're going to look at with Bomber is, in fact, the main race of the night. It is the Nova 937, the Lewis for the fillies and mares. And let's have a look at the Tab Touch market. As I said, great to have Tab Touch put up the markets for all the 11 races already for us. And on the pole, Wall Street Girl at $8. Soho Seraphine, they put up $1.95, Morts. That's gone. It's into $1.65. Bramonti Steps at 21. Ziana at 61. Eve Crocker been going well, $9. I Better 21. Sport 41. Dame Valor at $8.50. Petrachia at $1.51. Little Darling inside the back line at $9. American Monarch 21, and Champagne Style at $41. The 2 reserves still in the field at the moment, but we'll wait for scratchings in the morning. But Soho Seraphine Bomber led last week, got rolled, but this is a drop in class for Soho Seraphine. Opened $1.95 into $1.65. Are we sticking solid with Kim Prentice and Soho Seraphine and Mitch Miller?
Certainly, Mort's very confident this week. I was confident enough last week, and I wasn't actually that disappointed once we went back and watched the replay. She got hammered first up, and she was far from disgrace, beaten 4 metres. There'll be no such pressure in this race. She gets a very, very easy lead, and she'll strip much fitter, obviously, for that effort last week, and very, very confident that we get at least sort of half of our stake from last week back and a little bit more. But, I just can't see any pressure in the race at all, and I can't see how they beat her.
They won't, Bomber, that's why. So race number 5, horse number 2, Soho Seraphim, certainly share the same confidence you do, Bomber. What's our staking plan in this race?
Yeah, backing up with the 5 units again. We don't often do that when we get rolled, but I think I just I'm as confident as you. I just can't see how she gets beat.
All right, that is the 5th and the main race of the night, and the final race we got to have a look at in preview is race number 7. This is the Smooth FM Perth on digital radio over the 21-30 metres, and this is a really good field. We've spoken about it before. We spoke about it with Michael Young. He's pretty confident with Montana DJ, open $1.80 into $1.70. State of Heaven, $14. Beat the Bank, $101. Little Happy Fella at $10. Rockmeister, $17. Celestio Matuka at $3.80, and Lusaka, who couldn't have been more impressive last week, at $4.60. Montana DJ from the pole, favourite at $1.70 with Celestio Matuka at $3.80, Lusaka $4.60, drawn 6 and 7 respectively. Bomber, which way are we going in the 7th?
Yeah, well, he's a horse that owes us absolutely nothing, and that's Lusaka. He's been really good to us of late, and I can see no reason to go against him again. Obviously, Montana DJ is something of an unknown and looks most likely the leader, I guess, but I just think I just keep coming back to Lusaka. He has that really good turn of foot, which he can use from the 800 to the 4, and you'll run a sub-28 in that quarter, and then he just backs it up through the last one, and that's going to have him in really good stead here to go very close again. And Montana DJ will need to be at his best, that's for sure.
Certainly will, and was a good win last start, Montana DJ, but so was Lusaka, and as you said, owes us absolutely nothing. This is quite an interesting race, this one. There are a few chances, and depending on how it's also run, there's certainly wouldn't surprise to see other horses who keep winning, like Little Happy Fella, play a big part in this as well. Celestio Matuka has been very good, but number 7, Lusaka, Team Bond, Denny Roberts, race number 7. What's the staking plan, Bomber?
Yeah, 2 unit bets again. It's been a pretty consistent bet for us on this bloke over the last 4 to 6 weeks, and he just keeps turning up for us. So we'll back him in again, Mort.
That sounds good, Bomber.
All right, that's 7-7. All right, Bomber, have you got a multi for us on the night?
Yeah, I got a 3-legger. I thought race 3, number 2, Rock and Roll Elliot, the place. He's a horse that really holds his form when he hits it, and he did that last week. So from the great draw, I think he can run a place again. And then race 4, number 7, Still the Show. He looks to have a bit of class on these, I think, and he'll get a deserved victory. And then over to race 9, number 9, Street Hawk. He looks to have a bit of class on these, and while he's got 20 metres to overcome, I think he'll do that in a race of this nature. So, yeah, looking for a big night for Team Bond.
All right, so we got 3 to a place at $1.70, Rock and Roll Elliot, 4-7 a win, Still the Show at $1.60, and 9-9 a win, Street Hawk at $1.70. On Tab Touch, that multi is $4.62, Morts.
That's very nice.
Current prices.
Very nice, Michael.
Sure is, and good to see Street Hawk wasn't scratched after getting 20 metres. We'll talk about the Queensland horses in just a moment. Bomber, thanks for your time. Hopefully you cheered home the Blues, and I say the New South Wales Blues in the Rugby League in the State of Origin last night, and you roll into the football on which one? Where are you playing? The Bombers this week?
Geelong.
Well, it's Saturday night at the MCG against Geelong. So yeah, hopefully can get another win on the board after knocking over the Eagles for the second time this year. So, onward and upward, Rads.
That's like winning a premiership, Bomber.
Oh, so good. It's to not have to hear from any Eagles supporters in a whole year is pretty handy, Mort.
It certainly is.
Yes, indeed. Actually, on the Rugby League, our Rugby League tipping contest 2 weeks ago, I thought I'd tip the West Tigers. No one else will tip the West Tigers. They've lost 8 in a row. They got beat by 40 by a bottom 8 team the week before. I'll be the only one. And there was about 4. They got the cash, but there's about 4 of us found it.
Yeah,
So,
I was a bit like you. I thought I'll get one back here.
Yeah, and I didn't stick solid though the next week, which is unfortunate. My man Benji Marshall.
Yes, that's it.
Anyway, we'll hopefully get a clear round this week. All right, Bomber, thanks for your time, and we'll speak to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Good on you, Bomber. And we forgot to mention this segment, Morts, is brought to you by Steel Blue Boots. Built for comfort, made for work. Well over 700 stockists nationwide. Mark of true skill, and they'll be here on Friday night, Morts. Looking forward to seeing Ross and the team at Steel Blue Boots.
He is here most Friday nights. He's a very good supporter of Gloucester Park and this station in particular. Steel Blue Boots, Michael.
Yeah.
They are just so comfortable, designed for comfort, durability and choice, and backed by a 30-day, 100% comfort guarantee. That's how confident they are.
Yeah, I know one of the chefs grabbed him and said, I need another pair.
Yes.
Yes. It's all. Well, our man always looks after us. Racing. He's a good man, Ross, and no doubt he'll have some plenty of ammunition coming up in the next couple of weeks. And before we go, Morts, we put up on the Gloucester Park Facebook page an interview with Justin Prentice about Never Ending, and he's just started his hobble work, but he'll have 2 runs before he goes to Menangle for the Eureka over in WA, and then hopefully a trial and a race before he lines up against the best 3 and 4 Australian-bred horses in the world's richest race, the Tab Eureka.
That's certainly the plan, Michael, is to have a couple of starts here in WA and then go across to New South Wales. I know Justin's very much looking forward to it, and I think he's also very happy that he did that trip a couple of years ago with Mighty Ronaldo. Just the unknown becomes the known, whereas before, when he went there with Mighty Ronaldo, it was where he was going to stay, what he was going to do, how he was going to do it. I think he goes there with a little bit more confidence now that he's had that trip behind him, and we'll just keep our fingers crossed it all goes according to plan with flights and things like that, and he gets there and he gets a chance to have a trial and a start, and then gets to mix it against the best in the Eureka, and what is looking like it's going to be an absolutely cracking race.
Yeah, and you're going to see plenty of the stars in Brisbane over the next couple of weeks, stepping out and then getting towards the rising sun.
Yes,
which will be a great race, and it's going to be a great lead in every year to the Eureka now at Albion Park. Now we'll take a break. I see you, baby, Morts.
I thought you were talking to me.
Well, I do see you, baby. We had not a bad field. I had to wait till the last week, Morts. But I see you, baby, led. Better get on Pip. Had to do it tough outside, and found it a bit more tougher. But your 2 fillies went really good. Ruby Lavera and Winter Wonder both found the line really strongly.
Yeah, very happy. Ruby Lavera at first start did very well, and Winter Wonder, who'd had a couple of starts previously and showed a bit, and after Friday night looks like she'll be a nice horse.
I see you, baby, by Wesley, and double Westbred, and because it was a 21,000 race, the bonuses were out of this world. Like this filly's won a stack of bonuses now, and good to see through the double Westbred, and it was like winning a group race, winning the $21,000. The amount of bonuses the horse got,
and what a great drive by Emily Savelko.
Yeah,
really good.
Great trudged in front. Yeah,
rated perfectly in front and was just too good.
All right, let's go to the break and listen to "I See Ya Baby" for John Graham and Emily Savelko.
The outside and looks full of running as well. See if it's got a sprint. Favourite's gone here. I See You Baby in front from coming after it. Ruby Lavera down the outside. In front is I See You Baby. Ruby Lavera giving chase, and then Winter Wonder late on the scene. I See You Baby in front though from Ruby Lavera and Winter Wonder, and I See You Baby does it all the way. Wins by about 1.5 metres to 2 metres to Ruby Lavera, who's very good.
New Mazda.
Yep, I love it. We got it from Bayswater Mazda.
I keep hearing great things about them.
They're fantastic to deal with. Great people, great coffee too.
At Bayswater Mazda, you'll always be well looked after. Visit the team today and find the best drive-away deals on new Mazdas and pre-owned vehicles. Driving is better with Bayswater Mazda.
So's the coffee.
Go and see Bayswater Mazda at the corner of Guildford and Garrett Road, Bayswater. DL 25174.
You are listening listening to Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
Third quarter, 27-5. They're about to straighten now. Less than 200 metres to run. Leap to Fame into the home straight. District Attorney looms on the outside. Leap to Fame, District Attorney. Leap to Fame, District Attorney. Oh my goodness, what an upset! District Attorney peeled off his back and did the unthinkable. He got him. District Attorney scores.
Jack the Giant Killer, Jack Callaghan and Jason Grimson with District Attorney beat the best horse in Australasia in Leap to Fame. Big boiler, biggest boil over since Polly put the kettle on.
Certainly was a big boil over, Michael. Grimo can get them going.
Yeah.
And Jack Callaghan, there's not too many better drivers.
But then the next night, Narano turned over Swayze in a big upset as well.
Yeah, it certainly was.
This time it was Jack on the second horse, Swayze. We'll talk about that. That was the Patron's Purse District Attorney winning, the Chris Garrard Patron Purse. And then in the Lucky Creed, Narano beat Swayze. And we've got some good races coming up, including the Redcliffe Gold Cup Stand Start Group 2 worth about $100,000. We'll talk to Ollie about that in just a moment. But this segment, Morts, is brought to you by Bayswater Mazda. Driving is better in a Bayswater Mazda, corner of Guildford and Garrett Road. Saw you arriving here today, Morts, in your Mazda 6 Turbo.
Beautiful cars, the Mazda. Beautifully appointed inside and drive very smoothly. And there is no better place to buy your Mazda than Bayswater Mazda. So great range of cars, great backup service and outstanding coffee. Yeah. And talking about our very good friend who was with Bayswater Mazda, he had a winner at Pinjarra on Monday, so he was pretty excited.
Never going to get beat.
No, he was
never
pretty
ever.
Excited.
He was
pretty excited,
that's good.
which is good. It's what it's all about. So,
really good. Great to have new owners into the sport and getting winners. Hopefully, he gets a few more with you, Morts.
And our guest,
yes,
got a bit of ownership and
he does.
Quite a few going around at Gloucester Park.
He does.
Which is good.
Let's welcome into the program Oliver Cownie. Ollie, we've had your trainer on tonight in Michael Young, and he's pretty keen on Montana DJ for a very powerful ownership group, including yourself.
Morts, Rad's great to be on. Yeah, we were expecting big things his first couple of starts, and obviously he made those mistakes from the stand, and then third run lucky it was in the end, and he was very impressive there. So we're really hoping he can do similar on Friday.
He's $1.70 with Tab Touch in from $1.80. They took that pretty quickly, so it'd be interesting to see what he does start at, Ollie. But tell you what, things are heating up in Queensland now, and I reckon these upsets have made it even more interesting. We had the two, the big guns and the brothers, the half brothers in Leap to Fame and Swayze, in successive nights getting turned over in very similar fashion with horses off their back, both trained by Jason Grimson, taking down the odds-on favourites.
It is amazing how often those big upsets are. Jason Grimson, and he keeps going around big odds, horses he trains, so eventually the market might catch on and they won't be rank outside as some of his horses. But yeah, it was a massive shock that Leap to Fame went down. I did have a feeling that at some point there might be a horse that could just outdash him and maybe get him for speed late, which is exactly what happened Friday. But I didn't think at all it would be Friday that he would be undone at in a race that he just looked just about a certainty in. So, but it did add a lot of interest to the Queensland Carnival. I don't think he personally lost anything in there in defeat, but Don Liu and District Attorney were both really, really good efforts there in that race in the Patron's Purse. And then obviously Narano on Saturday, he was really fast at the end to knock over Swayze, and I don't think Swayze lost anything there either. So these races that are coming up, it's just another few horses that have been added into the mix that can contend in them. So really exciting.
All right, we'll see if we can get a winner from Redcliffe on Saturday night from you. But here in WA, along with Gloucester Park on Friday night, where I said 11 races, the first at 4:25. We go to Bunbury Saturday night, 7-race card. The first at 5:36. Some really nice races there, including the last, which is a really good 2-year-old. It's a 2-year-old filly's maiden, but it's a really good race. Kellerberrin, 9 races at Kellerberrin on Sunday. And we've got the Training Cup is the feature event on that card. The first at 12 noon at the Central Wheat Belt. And then we've got Pinjarra Monday and Gloucester Park back in action on the Tuesday. Ollie, have you got a couple of selections for us over the weekends? First of all, starting off at Bunbury on Saturday night.
I do. We're going to kick off in race 5 at Bunbury. Gully Gum. Tipped him last start. He's been such an impressive horse this time in. Been really impressed by nearly every run he's put in. He's had to do the work a few times and he's still been too good. I think the key to this race does look the early speed battle. Sorridere is drawn out a bit wider than he is, and it's a horse which has brilliant gate speed. And Gully Gum does appear to have come back and has some pretty good gate speed himself. So if he's able to drive through and hold out Sorridere, then I think he'll be extremely hard to beat Gully Gum, and I think he should lead him winning that race. And he might, if he goes around short odds, then maybe we can multi him up with our second selection at Bunbury in race 7, the 2-year-old race that you mentioned. It's a fantastic maiden, really strong race. Jax's Ideal, it's a horse that on debut it looked like it had the race won, and then it jumped off stride, and that was a race with Better Get On Pip and Stella Deliziosa, and they're both horses that have gone on and look quite nice in races. And another horse out of that race, Diamonds Are Forever, it's gone on and broken its maiden. So it does look like the form has been pretty good behind Jax's Ideal. The better Get On Pip looked all but home in its recent run, Jax's Ideal, and it came flying up the inside. I'm not sure the winner had seen that horse, and it nearly nabbed it late. Really eye-catching run. So I think Jax's Ideal can show some gate speed here and hold the advantage on what looked to be the main 2 chances in Winter Wonder and Poppy on the Beach, which is a first starter for the powerful Princess stable.
All right, we got and part owned by the powerful Glen Mortimer. We've got race 5, number 2, Gully Gum for Bob Millsop and Denny Roberts, and part owned by Timmy Gossage, who's having a good run as an owner, and Jax's Ideal in the last, race 7, number 1 for Michael Young and Gary Hall Jr. As we said, though, it's a couple of really nice fillies that'll probably go on and it'll be a good form reference, I think, out of that. And then we go to Kellerberrin on Sunday, Ollie. 9 races, the first at 12 noon. What do you got for us there?
Looks a good card at Kellerberrin. The one I liked first was in race 6, You Better Follow Me. Put in a very uncharacteristic bad run 2 back when was in the 1-1 and just dropped right out of it in the end. But his last run on Tuesday at Northam, he was much better. He closed really strongly there in a pretty strong race, I think. I think this might be a little bit easier for him, although I don't think he's a winning chance. He's generally a completely different horse when he's able to find the rails, and I think he should get a great trip in behind 3 back defence behind Prince of Pain, who was super impressive in his recent win. So I think 3 back defence, he can fill a minor placing in that race. I think a fair bit would need to go wrong for other horses for him to be a winning chance, but you never know. It's worth having something small on the win. And then in race 7, Velvet Shadow, another horse that went around Tuesday at Northam, landed a pretty good run, 3 back to pegs there, but then once it worked off down the back, just lost a bit of ground there when they quickened, ended up staying on really strongly late into second and was hitting the line strongly. So I don't think the extra trip out here out to 2,500 will be any kind of issue for him. I think he generally steps away quite well, looks suited off the 10 metres. One of the key rivals here looks Military Star, who's probably made of a bit of a habit of looking the leader and not quite going on with it. So he's run 6 seconds since his win in December. Thought it looked a strong each way chance in that race, Velvet Shadow.
All right, that's Kellerberrin on Sunday. And as I said, we're starting to really heat up at Queensland. And this week, Redcliffe takes the spotlight, Ollie, and we've got the Redcliffe Gold Cup. Now, bit of news around Leap to Fame not going around. Was given a 30-metre handicap and they didn't like it. What did you think of that, Ollie?
I thought it would have been a bit crazy that he would have been given 20 metres in a race where there's a number of no Metro win horses and some horses that have only had one Metro win. It really isn't a very strong race on paper. I think the best two horses now that are going around are Turn It Up and Send It, and neither of them have been probably that competitive in Grand Circuit races, while Leap to Fame's run into Dominion, a Hunter Cup and a Miracle Mile. So
yeah,
I think
probably deserve 10 for each of those wins at least, wouldn't you think? At 30,
absolutely,
if not
could
20.
have been given 40 realistically, I think,
per race. That's right.
Yeah,
it probably could have been 20 for each race, and it's back off 60. So in the end, and the other thing is there was no runners off the 20, so it probably wouldn't have mattered anyway. Not that it would have mattered to start with, but anyway, it's not there. Unfortunately, it takes a little bit of gloss off for the Redcliffe Cup, Ollie. But a $100,000 race, Group 2 stand start. Have you got anything for us at Redcliffe on the Saturday night?
In that race, I wasn't too sure who would win. It's a really open race, but I did think that Send It was a decent chance in the Gold Cup. But the one I liked on Saturday, we won't have to wait too long. It's in race 1. Hey There, Joe. Dropped out last start. He went around in a 26.80 race and he drew one, and it was a really strong race. Always Smoking won it, and Captain Shuffle's in second there, who's a pretty classy horse. I'm just happy to forgive that run over the trip and the class of the race. He drops back to a band 5 here. He draws the pole. The stable's going really well, the Dwyer stable, training a lot of winners. He's got one today. Again, he should get a great run behind Hands On, and I think he looks a really good each-way hope there. Hey There, Joe.
And I'm pretty sure they've got, over the next 4 weeks on the Saturday night, starting with Redcliffe and then Albion Park for the 3 weeks following that, extended coverage on Sky Thoroughbred Central. So the team will be up there with the extended coverage on Sky Thoroughbred Central for the Queensland Carnival for the next 3 or 4 weeks. So it'll be good to catch up with all the mail out of Redcliffe. But it's starting to heat up. It's a good program for the Redcliffe program. We've got the Redcliffe Derby, we've got the Redcliffe Oaks, and of course the Redcliffe Cup, and also the Redcliffe Trotting Cup. So really good night of racing there at, and also the Sales Classic Final as well.
It's a fantastic card of racing, some really even races there. There might be some upset results because there are some pretty good horses going around at big odds. So you never know. Those kind of meetings are always really exciting. So really looking forward to it.
Mate, it certainly is. We kick off a big weekend on Friday night at Gloucester Park, and then we got Bunbury, Keller Barron and Redcliffe as well to throw in there on Saturday night to watch with Bunbury. Ollie, thanks for your time as always. Good luck with Montana DJ here at Gloucester Park on Friday night, and we'll hear you again on Monday morning at 9:30 with Timmy Walker.
Thanks very much, guys. Looking forward to it.
Good on you. Ollie Cownie there.
Yes.
Leviathan owner.
Yes, he certainly is, and he's got Montana DJ and a couple of other nice ones, I believe. So good luck to they've seem to have a good group of owners there.
Yeah, good fellas.
Have a bit of fun, I'm sure.
They all follow the racing really closely. Eddie and
they like WA racing, which is terrific. So
Matty Leopard. Yeah,
that's great.
Really good. All right, big program, Morts. Hopefully we've helped some listeners out.
Yeah, I think so. Michael Young was good to have
as
a powerful
always.
one. Yeah. He gave us a good insight there and some good chances he has got tomorrow night at Gloucester Park.
11 races, early start again. So an early start at 4:25 at Gloucester Park on Friday night at Gloucester Park, 4:25. Morts?
Do we know how the early starts are going?
No, well, it's really hard because you only get bits and pieces from different corporates, so you're probably you might get 40% of the market, 40 to 60% of the market, so it's a bit hard to sort of marry up. So we're going to have to wait for all the reports to come in, which usually take about 2 months before we know that. But the question is whether Sky 2 early, and you've got to remember Sky 2 is usually less than Sky 1, and could be up to 40%, but whether Sky 2 early is better than Sky 1 late, particularly when 85 to 90% of our turnover is from the eastern states.
Yeah.
So it's all to do with timing and when people see it and how many people are active and betting and stuff. So, it's interesting to see which one's better, Sky 2 early or Sky 1 late with less people watching.
And do you think that maybe as we move into summer, if we go back to a more traditional starting time, that we may look at getting some of the better races and moving them forward in the card?
Well, we've already done that. We were the first to do it, to race 5. But, I mean...
No, I'm thinking, even up
they've been running the free-for-all races over there on the cards, like Albion Park do it earlier and stuff like that. So, no, certainly not out of the question, particularly free-for-alls and whatever else, to run it earlier and get it in there.
Try it and see how it goes. Yeah. And like you say, we'll get the numbers and we can work out from there what works well and what doesn't.
We need to maximise wagering, and that's certainly one way of doing it, because it's all about time slots and coverage that generate the wagering, so it's good to see.
Certainly is.
All right, Mots. Nothing. Yeah.
Sorry,
go.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Another big show on which hopefully you listened into with Bray and Ethan.
Oh.
It was a great show. Bailey Morgan, another good East Fremantle boy. Thank you very much. Get along and have a listen, Michael.
He sits away from us now, so he can't turn his microphone on. So.
Yeah, I know, but
he's just nodding.
Have a listen.
He's nodding. He said it's a great listen. I'm a great host, is what he's saying.
It's a bit of fun, bit of light-hearted fun, and
you're a very loyal listener now.
I am. I'm a big fan of local WA football, and that gets a pretty good run there. Plus, some of the juniors talked about his junior career, so that was good.
That's the idea of the show, isn't it? Talking about the up-and-coming stars, which
was terrific.
Which is good. Yeah.
So, it was good. It was a big week in harness racing, another big week coming up, so looking forward to it tomorrow night. The boys from Steel Blue will be there,
yes,
so I'm sure they'll be misbehaving, which is good.
Yep, the boys and girls. So thanks to Bray for pressing all the buttons. Morts, thanks for on. Hope it's been nice being here. Just walked across and quick for you as well. It's
much better than the last few weeks.
Anyway, that's good. All right. Hopefully everyone enjoyed the program. Thanks to Michael Young as well, Bomber and Ollie. Hopefully we found a few winners. Thanks to you, Morts. Until next week, it's bye for now.
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.